Today's Classic Homes with Mitchell McDaniel is produced in association with Hanley Wood, publishers of Old House Journal and Remodeling Magazine.
You'll meet our team of architects, interior designers, decorators, and true craftsmen who are going to work together to bring this Beaux-Arts style home into the 21st century.
In addition, we'll travel across the country and give you a first-hand tour of some of America's most famous Beaux-Arts style homes and buildings designed by some of the most influential architects of that day.
On today's program, we're going to take you to a fair, the Chicago World's Fair of 1893. Now, about our decking system, the manufacturer that we selected actually makes two different types of decking materials. One is a solid core decking. This is a 5/4 by 5.5 inches. Has a nice wood grain to it, and you notice that it's bowed to shed water. But this product is kind of hard, and I tell you, it's difficult to nail. So the other way to install this product is using a pneumatic nailer, such as I have here. So when you do that, it's going to require a lot of pressure. And what it's going to do is that right there. It's called mushrooming. And there's no way to get around that other than to knock that back down, and that's really not too appealing. Let me show you a little bit about a handrail system and what it consists of. We have a 2x6 cap, which is hollow core just like our decking. But you notice that it's smooth on the top. It doesn't have the grooves. Below that, we have a 2x4 mid-rail.
The Mediterranean Revival style is actually a composite of architectural forms and ideas borrowed from many periods and regions of Europe, starting with the ancient classical architecture of Greece and Italy. The style is characterized by stucco or cast stone finishes, very often with tile ornamentation, low-pitched terracotta or tile roofs, towers, arches, parapet walls, wrought iron details, and articulated door surrounds. Common interior details include decorative tile on the floors and walls, stained glass windows and vaulted ceilings. The wood of choice was most commonly Pecky cypress. By blowing out all the cavities of the Pecky, it helps us determine the best side of the material. Assembling the beam is quite easy, gluing the edges and fastening the sides to the bottom using a finish nailer. The final process is to roughen and taper the beam's edges using a Sureform plane and 60 grit paper. Then, it's ready for finishing using our polyurethane stain. The motion picture industry, led by Hollywood's Dream Factory, was coming of age at just the right time. Mass production and urbanization was transforming America into a culture of consumers, and the motion picture industry wanted in. To help sell tickets, early theater promoters designed and built lavish European and Oriental-inspired cathedrals to motion pictures.
The main auditorium of the Fox Theater has a number of spectacular architectural details. The most impressive thing people see is the large 13-foot chandelier that hangs in the middle of the room. It dangles from a little piece of sky that is right up overhead, where the room looks like you're in a tent outside an Egyptian garden.
The lathe I've got is the simplest kind of lathe to build. It's one that I built myself from an early design. Probably the most common kind of lathe in America.
That cleans the surface. It dissolves oxidation, and then I'll squeeze it closed.
Same yarns that we saw being transferred to spools to the warp, we'll also use on some of the tapes, some of the loop fringes, and braids that we see being woven here.
Now, what's interesting about slate is that it's a metamorphic rock. And what I mean by that, it's actually clay sediments that is transformed underground through millions of years of pressure. And if you look real close, you can see all the sedimentary layers. Now, these slate hooks that you use, are they non-corrosive? They look like they're stainless steel?
Correct. Stainless, we pound it in between the two pieces of slate above, and it'll come down and catch and hang right in there. Keeps it nice and loose, where the roof can expand and contract, the slate can expand and contract and move around.
How about that? Looks simple enough.
One of the most amusing things about the building is that Stephen Girard did not like columns.
We were asserting ourselves on the world stage. We are now a nation among nations.
And so all over the country, public buildings, courthouses, libraries, private houses, business buildings would be created in imitation or reflecting the grand Beaux-Arts style.
And as builders today, we need to be aware of the vision and creativity and craftsmanship that went into these homes because they're truly magnificent. We hope you've enjoyed this season, the Mediterranean Revival, as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. From all of us here at Today's Classic Homes, I'm Mitchell McDaniel. We'll see you next time.